Good morning, dear students. Welcome to online class of History and Civics. Today we are going to start the next part of the chapter, the decline of the Mughal Empire. In today's class, we will discuss about the causes of decline of Mughal Empire. Let's start. Causes of decline of the Mughal period were so many, mainly root cause of ineffective governance and the strong, you can say absence of a strong hold in the central government. Then the main point which we should understand, the first, it was the war of succession. When the country was, when the Mughals were fighting after the death of the Aurangzeb for the succession, they were fighting the war of succession. They had wasted lots of resources and their treasure and other things during that period. You can say after the death of Aurangzeb, when the Aurangzeb only was the last Mughal emperor who had its glorious time, and he had after his death, his three sons had fought together, and in the 1707, when Bahadur Shah came up to the throne, he was already very old, almost very old, and when he had come to the throne. So you can say that period was whatever the period they had wasted in the war of succession, that can be taken as the war, the development of the country, but they hadn't given their time for the country. They don't know how to rule and how to. They didn't know how to rule and how to govern the country. They were busy in the fighting for the succession. The successor of Aurangzebs were weak, become victim of intrigues, of conspiracies, of fact-ridden nobles, and they were inefficient generals, incapable of supervising the revolts, the absence of strong rural and an efficient bureaucracy and capable army had made the Mughal Empire weak. Inefficient successors was also a reason of the decline of the Mughal period. After Aurangzeb, when Aurangzeb imprisoned his father, killed rivals and evil one sibling in order to acquire the throne, his action while in the power left to the Mughal Empire especially vulnerable after his death. The successors of Aurangzeb were very weak, become victims of the plots and conspirations of ambitious mansabdars. Aurangzeb's successors were inefficient generals, were incapable of suppressing the revolts and the other type of regional powers of the society. The absence of the strong ruler and an efficient government can make a capable army against the Mughal Empire made them weak. During this period, it has shown that they could not check the revolts, and they had not done any effort for the development of their empire and for the navy. Failure of Mansabdari system was also the reason of the decline of the Mughal Empire. Mansabdari was introduced by Akbar, and from his time, non-hereditary system in an imperial official ranks they were getting their noble fixed group like Pathan, Mughal, Hindustani and Rajputs were weakening the tribalism and patriotism. In that system, however, during this period, Mughals has become corrupt due to the inefficiency. The inability to maintain the required number of mansabdar to break down this system, and by the end of the 17th century, there were so many, you can say, mansabdars, those who want to break down this chain and they want to keep them, you can say, the kingdoms with themselves as independent kings, which came, as you can say, after it as a Jagidari crisis. The Mughal had faced the Jagidari crisis in the decline of the Mughal Empire also. the Mughal officers were given Jagirdaris or Jagirs in written in the service of the rendered what they were giving to the you can say the Mughal. The Jagirs were very profitable, and in the end of the 17th century, it was total means most of the Jagirs, those which can be which could be distributed to the these kings and the nobles was totally about to finish. Then the emperor started giving his own Jagirs to the these Jagirdars and Mansabdars, and in that condition he was giving his own property, his own resources to them, and it was creating, you can say, a weakness for the emperor as his power was going to be declined by and by. Empty treasure was also the region of decline of the Mughals. Shah Jahan's zeal for construction had already depted Aurangzeb and long taken further divided into the you can say they Aurangzeb have given the most of the money into the war. Shah Jahan had given the work for the art, zeal and architecture. So it has already depted the, you can say, the policy. Then regional estate, princely rulers and zamindars had also stopped it. They are paying their taxes for them. So this was making the treasure empty because they had to give the money to the other nobles, those who were working, and the soldiers, and they had to pay for the army and navy. Sorry, army. So in that condition, the reason of decline was also the empty treasure, which they had drained it very well during their war and architecture work and other. Foreign invasion was also the major reason behind the decline of the Mughals. Invasion of Nadir Shah, Ahmad Shah Abdali proved destructive for the Mughal Empire. Not only were the Indians defeated, but their weakness had exposed, and India became as a prey to other foreign powers too. Nadir Shah, the ruler of Persia, had attacked in Punjab in 1739, the Battle of Karnal. The Mughal army was easily defeated by the Nadir Shah, and he has not only defeated the army, he had killed so many peoples, and they were, you can say, forced to live a miserable life after it. Nadir Shah had took the Kohinoor, which was gifted by the Raja of Gwalior to Humayun, and it was the, you can say, it used to believe that Kohinoor is the biggest stone and biggest and most beautiful diamond in the world. He and Nadir Shah also took away the peacock throne, which is known as Mayur Singh Hassan. He had taken that also with himself. The Marathas rose to the Peshwas, under Peshwas and other, you can say, the challenges were there for also the Mughals. The challenges of regional power had grown up that time. The Mughal were facing so many problems because some regional leaders were joining their shaking their hands with the Britishers to get more and more power against the Mughal and start their independent kingdom. The rise of independent state was also the reason behind it, the decline of Mughal Empire. Independent states, like they want to govern a free state, like just as Nawab of Bengal, Hyderabad and others, they want to rule freely. They don't want to give their revenue taxes to the Mughals, and they want to keep it with them. So this was weak. This reason was also that the reason behind the decline of the Mughal Empire. The Mughal Empire was steadily declining, and since the time of Mahmud Shah was the confined as the Delhi and surrounding in the areas. So these are the some regions for what the Mughal Empire was declining. So dear students, today we have discussed about the decline of the Mughal Empire and causes of it. War of succession, inefficient successors, Jagidari system, Jagidari crisis, Mansabdari system, foreign invasions, invasion of Nadir Shah, regional power and rise of independent states. In our next video class, we will study rest of the portion of this chapter, the decline of the Mughal Empire. Till then, have a nice day and thank you.